Everybody get up! Everybody get up! Everybody needs to understand that I'm more than simply a hype man for this rap group, just like Geico is more than just a company that can save you money. Geico also has fast and friendly claim service, so they can help you when you need it most. And while I do love being a hype man, I also love reading for children's audiobooks. Like Little Bo Peep, she lost a sheep, and she don't know where to find them. Go!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, it's like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
All right, it's episode 326 of the New York Knicks podcast. Mark is in an airport, and he's furious because every time he skips a show, something big happens. So we have Martin joining us today. How you doing, Martin?
Hey, Jay, what's going on?
It's been a little over a year since you did a show with us, I think.
Oh, wow, that long.
Yeah. And
It's been a while.
We also have Stats Guy the Third.
What's going on, guys?
So we are going to talk about Knicks stuff.
So something happened today?
Something happened today. We delayed the show, and it worked out perfectly. Unlike what usually happens when we do a show and then something huge happens as I'm uploading it and punching my keyboard. So the Knicks are without Derek Fisher.
Oh, too bad.
He was doing such a good job, too.
I guess Sasha Vujic is just going to ride the pine now again.
You would think any sane coach would do that. But so Rambis is going to be the coach right now.
That's not much of an upgrade.
It might be a downgrade. He was like something around 50 and 200 in Minnesota. I don't know if Stats Guy, if you want to get his actual coaching record. It was poor. He was he's been the assistant coach right now, so I don't know if he's pro or anti Sasha, but we'll find out next game. And Phil Jackson said that he is not soliciting coaches, and Kurt Rambis will be the coach the rest of the season.
Okay, yeah, just to let you know, he was 15-67 and then 17-65 in 2009 through 2011 with Minnesota.
Oh, that's pretty bad. I mean, the T-Wolves have been really bad for a long time, but
I mean, why would you?
They're still bad.
Why would you look for another coach when you have that? He was also the guy who didn't think Kevin Love was worth like starting minutes, right?
I'm surprised they didn't put Herb Williams back into the head coaching position. I know he's not on the team anymore, but I mean, he seemed to be the go-to interim guy.
I thought it was in the Knicks charter that whenever they lose a coach, Herb Williams gets at least 2 weeks.
Exactly. You know who he's waiting for. It has to be, right? It's got to be Luke Walton. I imagine that's who he's going to try and go after. He played for him. Seems to make sense to me.
I don't know one of his guys because he's still on this stupid triangle thing. So it's going to be Luke Walton or who's the guy who was in L.A. that got fired for not being good?
In L.A. Head coach?
Yeah, he was head coach like last year.
Oh, God, I know exactly.
Not Scott.
No, not Scott.
Who's still employed somehow.
You know, Brian Shaw. Thank you, Beacon.
Oh, Brian Shaw. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say Mike D'Antoni.
No, he got another. Who's he coaching with now? Is he with? D'Antoni hooked up with a team.
He's assistant coach. All the Knicks coaches get fired and then become assistant coaches. That should tell you the quality of our coaches.
I mean,
he's on. Yeah, D'Antoni's on the Sixers now. As an assistant.
Yeah, well, they've improved since he got there.
They have.
They've actually won like 2 games. Well, you know who's going to have a job, be an open coach too? Is going to probably be Sacramento's guy, George Karl. Is probably going to lose his job too. He didn't get fired yet. There's been rumors.
No, but I think it's happening soon. He loses his team within like 50 games everywhere he goes.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. I mean, they get off to although that was Sacramento, but most of his teams usually got off to a good start, and then he loses them. He's kind of old school, I think. That's why. I don't know if Luke Walton is the answer, by the way. I really don't know. I mean, I think I could coach the Warriors.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, wouldn't he just go in there and be like, you know how you won the championship last year? Let's do some more of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have Bill Walton, I think, than Luke Walton.
Oh, God.
Me. Well, he'll just say, throw it down, big man.
If Mark was here right now, I guarantee you he would be stating his Tom Thibodeau case.
The problem with Tom Thibodeau is Dolan doesn't like him, right? Didn't he have a bad stint with the Knicks at the end? Didn't it get kind of ugly? He's a Van Gundy guy, you know?
Oh, is that what
I
it
agree
is?
with Thibodeau. I think he's great.
Was he on Van Gundy's staff?
Oh, yeah. He was.
You just need a defensive-minded coach, I feel like, at this point.
I agree. I almost think Patrick Ewing has to come back into the fold, too. Someone needs to teach Porzingis a little, like, big man play, you know?
Yeah, I'm confused about Phil Jackson's strategy. Like, he hired Fisher, who had no experience.
Yep.
And it was kind of like a project, but you don't take projects like you do players. Like, Porzingis is a project that's expected. A head coach in the NBA is not supposed to be a multi-year project.
Well, it was going to be a project one way or the other. It was going to be either Steve Kerr or him, right? Or Brian Shaw. I think those are the three guys he was looking at.
Yeah, but why not just get a coach that's good already?
Why not him? I know he's like physically unable to do it.
Yeah, I just don't get like why we don't get a coach who actually knows how to coach.
How about Kobe? You never know.
You never know. I mean, it would be funny seeing Kobe bossing Melo around.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I couldn't see it though. It wouldn't make sense.
No.
But he's got to do something next year. What it is, maybe he goes to the booth, but he's not going to just sit around and do nothing.
I could see him taking maybe one season off.
Yeah, maybe. But
he'll definitely be back within 2 years.
I'm happy Derek Fisher's gone. His substitutions were awful. He couldn't close games out. I mean, I think you put it up there. Are the Knicks overachieving this year? I think they're about kind of where they are with this slump. They're probably where they belong. I don't think they're even. I think it's a push. I mean, I didn't have any expectations coming into the season.
Yeah, I think it was just more that they were in a free fall. I think if they had this record at this point in time, but they were up and down,
he wouldn't have gotten fired.
Right. The fact that they went 1-9 in the last 10.
And the way they've done it, like you can't lose to Denver at home. I mean,
no, that was big right there. That losing that game and the way that they were playing at the beginning of that game was absolutely horrendous.
Especially, they made Danilo Gallinari look like an all-star. I mean, come on now, that can't happen. Not good. And I will say the game. It was against a good team the other night. The game after Detroit, where they really hung in there without Carmelo. They should have really won that game. I mean, they were hanging around, and then they ended up losing at the end again. That was the game Vujicic had like 17 points.
Yeah, they are one of the worst second half teams in the league. I don't know what they do during halftime, but this has been going on.
The Memphis game. Yeah. That was a good game. I mean, they showed a lot of heart. And, Memphis is a really good team. I mean, in the East, they'd probably be one of the best teams. In the West, they're just a mediocre team. But I don't know. I'm glad Fisher's gone. I didn't like the signing from the beginning. I might have even said that the last time I was on here, if I was on here at that point.
Yeah.
He bothers me. The whole thing about his mentality, just didn't seem to know what he was doing. And he got a little better this year, but I think the talent was better this year too. I mean,
talent
at least they have some NBA talent.
I mean, we had Lou Amundsen starting 22 games last season.
He still played him this year. That guy should not be. He should be in the D League. That's the other. I mean, Phil Jackson's made some good moves. I mean, the problem with the Knicks lately is the way Aaron Aflalo has been playing. If he plays well, they usually will win. But he's been awful. His shot selection's bad. He can't finish layups. He just looks very lost out there. And either the other teams, I think, have figured out how to stop him. But he's been bad.
And his defense has been terrible on top.
And that's one of his calling cards, right? Like, he's supposed to be a good defensive player. But
yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy.
And Porzingis looks tired to me. I don't know about if you agree, but he looks very tired.
Totally. I've noticed that so much. When like running back on defense, you kind of see him sometimes like take a deep breath or something. Like he can't get back on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never played anything close to this amount in his life, so.
No, I understand that. That's what happens with the rookies, especially the European ones. But
I think 2 weeks ago he passed his minute total from all of last season.
But the thing is, he was hot yesterday. He had that hot streak, and they stopped going to him. Like, I don't understand it. Like, if the guy scores 3 baskets in a row, you may want to try and go back and run the offense through him. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think that was one of the biggest problems. It seems like his rotations, I don't know if he was stuck in what he wanted to do, regardless of how the players are playing, or stats guy did he just pull numbers out of a hat and that's how many minutes guys played, or what was going on there?
I can go back and look.
You're just going to go to the videotape, see if he was pulling numbers out of a hat?
I think that's a fair guess. I mean, it's a better guess than anything else. But Kurt Rambis, who are the other assistants? They have one of Phil Jackson's other assistants from back in the day on the bench, too.
The problem is he's so stuck on this triangle thing. I don't know if it's...
I don't understand it because, like, no one else runs it. Not even... I mean, some people run principles of it, but no one runs the whole thing. It just doesn't work now. And they don't have the talent for it. That's the other problem.
Well, I just think long contested twos are a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean, look what Houston's... Not that Houston's a great team, but they figured it out. You got to shoot threes in this league now. That's why Golden State like hits like 3 or 4 in a row. Now, granted, we don't have that talent, but they had 3 or 4 in a row, and they bust open a big lead. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Oklahoma City game, but it was, they busted open a big lead, and then Oklahoma City came back. But I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't understand Kurt Rambis. It makes no sense to me. But I guess they had no better option.
Well, I mean, that's what you do if you don't have anything set up.
He's just the interim. I mean, I don't think that he's going to obviously be the long-term solution. They got to put somebody out there right now.
I know, but maybe who's the coach of the D League? Maybe bring that guy up or something, right?
He's Mike Miller, and I mean, they're not going to take him away from what he's trying to do down there in the D League.
Oh, that's true.
What about David Blatt?
I haven't heard anybody say that, but that's kind of an interesting guy to think about.
He might be okay. You know what?
I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I don't really know too much about him, but I mean,
his record
from what I hear,
good.
His record is good.
He should be coaching the All-Star game, to be honest with you.
He should, or at least Toronto's coach. Like,
yeah,
it's such an insult to have Tyronn Lue coaching the All-Star team.
Hey, at least the Celtics beat those bastards. Oh, I can't stand the Cavs. But the problem with the Cavs is the Bulls are slumping, right? The whole East, like, it's... who's beating the Cavs? I don't see it.
I don't think anybody is. I guess Toronto has the best chance, but I can't...
I don't know. They just seem like a good regular season team to me. And then when it comes playoff time, I don't think they have enough depth.
No, I agree.
But, I mean, you look at Porzingis yesterday. I mean, 21-13. That's not bad.
So let's go through the games that happened this week.
Oh, sure.
So we start off with Boston.
Ugh.
Which was, again, that third quarter where they blew it open.
That's a good team, though. Let's say that. They actually have a real point guard. That's the real problem with the Knicks. When you're running Calderon out there, who's now yelling at crowds, they can't beat a team with a good point guard. Boston's got an all-star point guard. That's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, we also let Tyler Zeller just go off.
Yeah, that's true.
Evan Turner got a double-double as well.
Yeah, but Evan Turner's been playing good against almost every team, though.
Really?
I mean, I have him in fantasy, and he's been putting up points. Like, he's rebounding, giving assists, scoring, a little bit of everything. I guess that adds up in fantasy, but it's a good barometer to know how a player's playing by what they're doing in fantasy almost.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at him. I looked at him in the beginning of the season. He was playing terrible. I guess I'm looking now. I guess he came on. Also, I think if I'm David Lee, I'm absolutely furious.
Why is that?
He's got shafted there.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah.
He left Golden State, and Boston kind of promised him a huge role. And
He's right. He's right in the back of the rotation. It's true.
beyond the back, I don't think he's had 1 minute in about 8 games.
Well, there's no room for him with Kelly Olynyk and what's his name?
Sullinger,
Not Sullinger. Zeller.
Well, I mean, they're playing
all three of them.
Yeah, they're playing all 3 of them over him. Sullinger doesn't look very good, though. I don't know why he's starting. Anyway,
You got to give the credit though. Brad Stevens is a good coach. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He got a lot out of that team last year, and they weren't that good.
Why can't we get
Sullinger sucks. Never mind.
I just don't get what we're doing with coaches. I mean, Boston had a first-time coach. He's awesome.
Yep.
David Black gets to the finals. Steve Kerr wins the finals. And we got a guy who can't figure out that Sasha should get 0 minutes and Serafin shouldn't play.
And we get a 40-92 record out of him.
Oh, and Kyle O'Quinn gets major minutes, too. That's the other thing.
Sometimes. He either gets 0 or like 35.
Isn't that a problem? I mean, I understand matchups and everything, but come on now. It's a little ridiculous.
Absolutely.
I don't think I want to talk much else about the Celtics game, other than Grant somehow got a minus 17 in 7 minutes.
He cannot shoot. It's painful. His jump shot is so bad when he does shoot. But he went 0 for 1 in that game with a minus 17. That's impressive.
It's really hard to get a minus 17 in 7 minutes.
It's pretty bad. I have to say, Robin Lopez has been playing well. We have to say that. I didn't expect. He's better than I thought he would be.
Yeah, no, he's been good.
And he's all effort. He gives it 100% on every play, and he's passionate, and I like that in the play.
Yeah, he cares, right?
He fucking cares. Yeah.
Yep. What's disappointing to me about when they play the Celtics and they play Isaiah Thomas? They don't boo him as much as they used to.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago when he was on like Sacramento, they would boo him just because his name was Isaiah Thomas.
Yes,
I always found that
which
funny.
Is hilarious. Yes.
They don't do it now.
Yeah, everyone named Isaiah Thomas should just be booed to the.
It should be an automatic. It should be like a gag reflex.
Exactly. If you're in New York, like in Detroit, I could see them cheering for Isaiah.
Yeah, if they wanted to, sure.
Okay, so let's speak in Detroit. That's the next game.
That was a weird game.
That was a weird game. That was instead of taking the second half off, the Knicks decided to change it up and take the first half off.
They should have won that. That's the sick part of that game. They had the lead.
They had the lead in the fourth, right? Like late in the fourth.
Late in the fourth. And then Reggie, not the Yankee Jackson, decided to hit some big shots.
We wasted Lopez's best game of the season.
What do you have? 27 that game, right?
26 and 16.
26. Unbelievable.
Galloway had
that's against a good. That's against Andre Drummond, no less. Now I know they put their scrubs in the first half and early in the second half because they were up by so much, but.
Not to be denied, Calderon went a minus 17 in 13 minutes. Not quite 7 minutes, but still impressive.
So 0 for 3, right?
Yeah.
3 assists from your point guard.
Mm-hmm.
1 steal. What value is that add?
Not going to get it done.
I mean, he only had 12 minutes, thank God. There was a good reason for it because it was awful.
We would have lost by about 57 points if he played.
That's true. So, I mean, I guess Derek Williams got some run in that game. Galloway's come back. He's starting to turn it on a little bit lately, too. I mean, thank God. He's one of the guys that Phil Jackson really found diamond in the rough on that one.
Yeah, but then Porzingis sucked that game. It's like we only have 3 guys who can play good in any given game.
But I could see Porzingis having trouble. That's a big team. That's a talented, good big team.
The East is big, man.
Yeah, I could see that. Although you look at Robin Lopez and he had 26 and 16. But they should have won that game. They really should have. They actually had a chance to pull that out, and they had a bad finish again.
And Sasha getting 11 minutes. I don't know about that.
Well, what's worse, Sasha getting 11 minutes or letting Carmelo Anthony go 4 for 18?
Yeah, but at least he almost got a triple-double.
Yeah, because he went to the line a lot. But
Well, I mean, he went to the line. He had 11 rebounds. He had 8 assists.
But does he ever shoot over 50%? It's so rare, it seems to me, that he shoots over 50%.
He said today that his knee is hurting him. So yeah, he thinks that might be what's happening for the rest of the season now, and it's throwing off his shot.
Oh, well, what is he trying to plant a seed to kill the season again like last year?
I don't know what's going on.
I'm tired of him. Like, I didn't like the signing either. Like, he takes up cap room. They're not going to win with him because Porzingis, if he really does pan out to be what we think he should be, he's going to be good when Carmelo Anthony's on the downside.
Yeah,
they're not going to be good together,
right?
And you know the bad part is I don't want the Knicks to be bad this year because they don't have a draft pick. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So
let's make the playoffs and go for it. Might as well.
Yeah, otherwise you're gifting a draft pick to another team.
Stats guy, do we have a second rounder?
I don't even know. We probably do.
I think we
could draft like a Jimmer Fredette again or something. Well, we didn't draft him, but they might as well bring him up. Why not? Who cares? If we're going to really not care, then bring him up.
Seriously, he is lights out. He's lights out shooting, though. I mean, play him against the team's second team players.
He's Novak. That's what he is. He'd be Novak again. It would be a clone.
I would take that in a heartbeat.
I agree. I mean, I'm tired of seeing Kyle O'Quinn. Lance Thomas has to keep playing. I like him, but Jaren Grant. I don't know. Maybe you drop him down. He hasn't done anything, in my opinion.
A D-League stint for Grant and getting some solid minutes down there would probably be a good thing for him.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does. Does it really matter? I mean, I know. Listen, Fredette cannot play defense. I understand that, but what does it matter? These guys aren't getting it done as a collective. You might as well just try something and see if it sticks.
Well, that's the thing. Grant and Vujicic can't shoot, and they don't play defense. Well, Grant plays defense, but like Sasha can't shoot and he doesn't play defense. So replacing him with a guy who can shoot and doesn't play defense is still an upgrade.
But Sasha's a good cheerleader, so we have to have him on the bench. Okay. That's the whole thing.
He knows the triangle. He's mentoring everybody in the triangle.
Oh, please. Okay.
All right, Memphis.
Triangle.
Let's move on to the Memphis game.
That game I was very hooked into. And it angers me when I see Zach Randolph come back and torch us. But
he was really good on the Knicks. I don't know why people hated him.
I liked him.
He would put up one of his best statistical years on the Knicks.
And he seemed to care, even though they were a bad team.
Stats guy, what was he putting up on when he was on the Knicks? It was almost 20 and 10, I think. But,
I think so.
This was the game without Melo.
Yep.
And Calderon played good, which means
he actually shot really well.
Right, which means that Galloway started to suck.
Yep.
Because they only have 3 guys who can play good, and every one game.
Yep.
Porzingis played well. Robin Lopez played well. Those are your 3 guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Calderon had a good start. And then he started yelling at the crowd, and he was like, "Oh, look, I could shoot!" And then he had a kind of like a bad, not a great finish.
Yeah, he averaged 17.6 points per game and 10.3 rebounds per game.
Double.
Yeah, that's borderline all-star numbers.
And a steal a game too.
And
for good
people
measure.
hated him when he was here. I don't get it.
Do you think people hated him? I don't think people cared.
People were tearing him apart when he was here.
Oh, I thought he was a good player here. Actually,
I did too.
That's the sad part.
I mean, he was a little chubby, but that was that weird year where everyone was overweight on the Knicks. We had Curry, Randolph, and Richardson, and they were all like kind of fat. It was a very strange year.
Yep. You know who looked old in this game, by the way, and should probably hang it up? Vince Carter. It's kind of sad to see him like this. I mean, I know he went 4 for 8, but he looked old out there.
Yeah. Did you see a couple weeks ago he went up for a dunk and got rejected by the rim?
See that's the guy who posterized Frederick Weiss, right? Come on. What happened?
I know.
Father Time is caught up.
Oh, Bruno in the chat room said the only reason Sasha's still on the team is he's grooming him for a coach.
Are you serious? That's probably true.
I'm not even entertaining that idea.
Yeah,
You might
moving
be
on.
right.
Looking at that guy's face every day, goddamn.
You don't like the condition. He has a very good product for his hair,
He's
though.
got serious douche face. He reminds me of that guy who was.
He's got resting douche face.
Yeah, he reminds me of that guy who had jacked up the price on the AIDS drug.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Everyone hates that guy.
But you know who actually hurt us in that Memphis game was Jeff Green. He was the guy. He hit some big shots down the stretch, from what as I recall.
Who did?
I think Jeff Green, right? He was big in the end.
Yeah. That was almost the Nick effect.
They kind of shut down Marc Gasol. He wasn't that, he wasn't really that as good as he usually is.
I don't get how their high score was Jeff Green with 16 and they still beat the Knicks.
You know who was a real dick in that game? Matt Barnes. He was, he got thrown out.
He's a dick in every game. He's a dick.
Yeah, but he was a real dick in that game.
That's why I love him. He's like, he
doesn't care.
He pisses everybody off. He's like the Donald Trump of basketball.
Oh, he's going to be the president of basketball?
He should be. He's awesome.
It's scary I even said that. When we break this out of the time capsule, oh man, I hope I'm not right.
All right, Denver. This was a loss.
This was the au revoir game.
Yeah, this was good third quarter and then just gave up. We had Nurkic on Denver, who was on my fantasy team, so he only got 7 minutes. So screw you, Denver coach. And let's see, not much else. I mean, Porzingis had a great game.
Yes, he did. I don't know if they were looking forward to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure what that was yesterday. But Danilo Gallinari got 10 free throws. How does he get to the line that many times? I have no idea.
He's good at getting to the line.
I know, but seriously, he's not that good. He really isn't. And I liked when he was here. He was a good role player. He's a role player to me. He's not. He gets major minutes on a bad team that's looking to dump their players. Like they're looking to trade Fareed, right? There's rumors about that. That's a bad team.
Every player the Knicks took a hard look at is on the trading block.
Yep.
Greg Monroe.
Yeah, remember Fareed was whoa, we should get him. That was in the offseason, I think.
Right. Now there's rumors that the Bucks are looking to trade Greg Monroe. That was supposed to be our big offseason acquisition.
Yeah. Yeah, instead we got Lopez, right? That was the consolation prize.
Which I am so glad we got him instead of Monroe.
So what happened to Wilson Chandler? He's on their team and he didn't play because of the coach's decision. Is he that?
I thought he was hurt.
He has a season-ending injury for the third straight year.
Yeah, I liked him when he was with the Knicks too.
I did too, but you'll not find a more unhealthy player.
That's true.
He is just always banged up.
Yeah, that is true. He was always hurt.
What did you think of Moutier?
Moutier. God.
He had a good fourth quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's another guy who can't shoot.
9 assists, no turnovers, though. It's not bad.
Yeah, considering his first game of the season, I think he had 12 turnovers.
So he figured it out. Will Barton had a double-double.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. I like that.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good fantasy player, at least.
Yeah. And the other Mike Miller is still in the league.
That I actually had no idea he was still playing.
I thought he retired. He was on the Cavs last year, right? He finished with the Cavs.
Yeah, he was in
on the Cavs last year.
He was in that group of LeBron Dingleberries that follow him around everywhere he goes. With James Jones.
Well, I found the football version of LeBron. It's Cam Newton. Can we lose gracefully just once? If you're that good of a player. And I this is more, I know this is basketball, this is more LeBron. I still remember the Celtics series and how that ended a few years back. It's just a jerk. For maybe one of the best players of all time, he cannot handle losing gracefully at all. And I don't know if he'll ever win one with the Cavs. I don't see it. And God forbid the Warriors get Kevin Durant, forget it.
That would be insane.
That would be like, remember when the Lakers almost got Chris Paul and the league blocked it, and then they ended up with the Clippers?
In the shadiest moment in the history of the NBA.
I hate the Lakers, but the Lakers got so screwed. They got screwed, wrestling screwed in that. Like, that seemed very Vince McMahon-like.
They got beyond screwed because the repercussions for that, I mean...
That made them bad.
Well, yeah, because Lamar had a meltdown. So not only did they not get Paul, they lost Lamar.
Yep.
It was just like this series of events that just destroyed that franchise.
That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Because if they had Chris Paul, that was the bridge to get Kobe into retirement. They might have had one more run in them, and now they're just...
Instead, they panic traded for Steve Nash and gave up 2 first-rounders, one of which they might end up giving up this year.
What was worse, that or what the Nets did to mortgage the future? I mean, those 2 similar type things where they were trying to hang on for dear life with old players, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I think the Nets are still worse because they did it for like, they not only did they trade the first round picks, they also did swaps in the other years.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Billy King really screwed that team up.
Who would have thought the guy that totally screwed up his prior team? Yeah, he totally screwed up the Sixers. Who would have thought?
But I said that at the time when the Nets got him. I was like, why would you sign that guy? He messed up the Sixers so bad.
Yeah. He destroyed the Sixers.
He did. And that team is unbelievably, weirdly bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, at least we have a first rounder next year. Hopefully they don't trade that.
I don't think they will. I think the Knicks are against trading first rounders now.
Well, I think Phil Jackson's smart enough to know.
Yeah.
But the draft's not that deep this year anyway, so I don't know if I'm terribly hurt by it. But it just sucks not having a draft. I feel like they never have a draft pick more than they have a draft pick.
Right, and like last year was just so exciting having a draft pick.
Yep. You didn't boo, did you?
I was pushing for Porzingis since like February.
Yeah, I was okay with whoever they got. I just didn't like how they screwed up tanking. Like, that was a little embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, at least we traded his Hardaway's ass, sucking all season and then playing great the last 5 games.
I didn't want him when they drafted him just because his name's Hardaway. No Hardaway is ever good. Penny, Tim.
It's like they show up on the Knicks just to fuck up the team for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to emails.
All right, emails.
nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. George writes, I just wanted to say the dude who does the impersonations is great. All those big words from Derek Fisher are way too accurate. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, listen, we had a amazing guy who does Mike Woodson and Derek Fisher.
Was it Tone Loc? Because that's what Mike Woodson sounds like.
We got a lot of really good feedback, but then we also get emails like this from Angel, who wrote, I enjoy your podcast, but stop at the stupid interviews, or at least keep them to 5 minutes or less. So you can't please everybody.
No, you can't. It's stupid.
What did you think of Mike Woodson?
Me?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, we got definitely a lot more feedback positive from that than negative.
I laughed the entire time. I don't get... Somebody like that doesn't want to laugh and have fun.
Yeah. Well,
sorry to that person. I'm not trying to be a dick, but...
Bruno writes, what's up? Last week's episode was awesome. Please more Fisher and Woody if possible. Tell me how I'm sitting in my vehicle double parked on 7th Ave and 57th Street in Manhattan at a red light when I look to my right and I see Phil limping across the street to get into a private vehicle to my left. I can't believe what I'm seeing, so I quickly grab my phone and wait till he crosses over right in front of my car and step out of my car and say very low just so he can hear me and not cause a scene, Mr. Jackson may have a picture with you. He just looked at me, laughed, and said no thanks, and with one last smirk, he stepped into the car and was gone. I stood there in disbelief, and I can't believe he was such an asshole. I hope whatever is making him limp really hurts. I thought I should throw that out to you guys so you could spread the word about who the Zen Master really is behind the scenes. Thanks for doing what you guys do and love the show.
That's funny.
That is a good story.
That is a good one.
So does he live over in 57th?
I don't know. But was that guy listening to the podcast while all this was happening? That's the question.
Yeah, if he did. He should.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, we got Lorenzo. Did you hear the Knicks are looking to trade Melo to Toronto? We're getting our 2016 first rounder back. That's the only plausible explanation for our recent suckiness.
Why would Toronto take it?
No, I'm pretty sure that's a joke.
I get it, but
It says that Phil Jackson bought a $4.85 million apartment in Midtown.
oh, so he got it out of his sock drawer.
And it looks really nice.
Well, take a picture with a random guy or go to my $5 million apartment.
You're right.
I guess I get it. No offense, listener guy.
Let's see. Jimmy writes, I'm sorry, but you need to stick to just you two. The whole Mike What's Derek Fisher episode is the first episode where I couldn't listen.
Wow. Very polarizing.
Yeah. Oof. Well, we love him. Sorry, Jimmy.
Do it in moderation. That's what I say.
We do it like once a season. We'll do like a whole episode like it. That's fine.
Well, not his cup of tea. Don't listen to that one.
Yeah.
Or listen to it and don't listen to
Or
it.
download it. You don't have to listen to it, but download it.
Exactly.
Because the downloads still help the show. So, do you all believe the relationship between the star player and the head coach is a huge key? I mean, you look at how good of a relationship Phil had with Michael and Kobe, Popovich and Duncan, Carlisle and Dirk, Riley and Magic. Hell, even Riley and Ewing had a great relationship. Do you think that's an underrated aspect in success in the NBA?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's also those guys were very coachable. Well, maybe not Kobe. He was the first one to get through to Kobe, but even Jordan had problems with Collins, right, before Phil Jackson came in.
I think it's definitely very, very detrimental to the team if they don't get along because the team rallies around the star. And if the star is butting with the head coach, that's a real good way to lose the coach for the
Well, look what happened with D'Antoni, right, with the Jeremy Lin stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think it has to be a good fit, but who besides Jim Boeheim for 1 year has Carmelo Anthony meshed with very well? Like him and George Karl, I guess, were together for a while, but
I think he meshed well with Woodson because Woodson basically said, do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Right, yeah, it was all isolation ball.
But he didn't really seem to get along with anybody else.
No. I think he's just about his brand.
Yeah. Jimmy writes, all jokes aside, do you believe the Knicks will make moves at the deadline or will they stick with what they got?
I don't think they're sellers if they could sell Carmelo, I guess, but I don't know what else they could sell to get anything. They're not going to be buyers.
What do you think, Stats Guy?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find out if we have any second-round draft picks this year. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
Are they going to trade at the deadline?
Oh, will the Knicks trade? I think they'll probably make a deal. I don't think they'll make a huge deal, but I think they might make a small move here or there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a minor move. They're not going to do a blockbuster.
I think a point guard. I think they'll get a point guard of some sort. I do.
They'll do something like O'Quinn for Raymond Sessions or something small like that.
Yeah, I can
maybe get even an early second-round pick, maybe one of those types of deals.
Right.
To dump a contract or dump a role player to someone that could use them.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Phil will do something. I don't think he's going to make no moves.
I don't know. Like what? Who?
It's clear. It's clear that they're.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying that I thought it's clear that they're trying to at least make the playoffs this year. It seems like by firing Fisher and the way that they've been, it just seems to me like they're trying to win this year. To me, not the whole thing, maybe, but
no, just to get into the playoffs and get out of the line.
Yeah,
that I agree with. But who on the team is something that someone would want? That's the question. Because Porzingis is untouchable.
Yep.
Carmelo's untradeable. I mean, maybe Williams. He might have some value.
I don't think he has much value.
No,
he's very, very up and down.
He's better. He's another one who's been better than I thought he would be, and I was expecting Zippo. So I guess that's you have lowered expectations.
Somebody might take a chance on Grant, but I mean, do we want to cut ties with him that quick?
I was thinking the same thing, but yeah, I don't know if we wouldn't give up on him that fast after we gave up to get him.
Like, as much as he kind of sucks right now, how heartbreaking would it be to see him like turn into a good player on another team?
Here's the thing: I think Derek Fisher kind of screwed him up.
Yeah.
He didn't give. It was very inconsistent. Like, where was he in the rotation? How many minutes? Like, if you chart his minutes out, like it's probably looks like a heartbeat chart.
Yeah,
I mean,
I totally agree. Yeah.
So that doesn't help a rookie.
No.
And I think we said it earlier. Maybe you bring him down to the D League if he needs meaningful minutes, because no one cares about how good or bad the Westchester Knicks are.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Except for me.
Oh, you can't. You go?
I've been to 2 games this season, and I'm going to the Raptors D League game in a week, just because I want to see that Simbular, the 7'5", 400-pound Indian guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, by the way, someone told me this the other day. You know who the second best 3-point shooter over 7 feet of all time is?
Second best over
In NBA history.
Are we counting? Dirk's number 1, right?
Dirk is number 1.
Second best over 7 feet.
It is related to the Knicks.
Okay, so it's not Olajuwon.
It is.
Olajuwon never really took threes. He always took.
Nah, he looked long distance twos.
Yeah, Ewing took long distance twos. Could it be Ewing?
Nope. Do you want me to tell you? He's active in the league. I will say that he still plays.
Bargnani?
Yep.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yep.
He had such good shooting his first 2 seasons. It carried over. It negated his next 8 years of terrible shooting.
Yep. He is the second best 3-point shooter over 7 feet of all time.
That is crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Because the last few years he's been dreadful from.
He's been horrible, and he's on an awful team now. He's on a team that's well, I don't know. They're going to be worse than the Knicks last year, probably not, but they're bad.
Not worse than the Knicks last year, but yeah, they're going to be very bad.
I mean, they did beat the Kings by 30 the other day.
Yeah.
But Andrea Bargnani of all people. Oh my God, he's one of the players I hated the most.
I couldn't stand him either, to be honest. I thought maybe when you said that, I thought maybe the guy on Boston. What's his name?
Olynyk?
Is he 7? He's 7 foot, right?
He might be. He's good, but
he's not there yet. I guess
he's only been 2 years. He played at Gonzaga, I think, right? Kelly.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
I don't know any college.
He's 7 feet tall. Yep.
So I'm sure he'll surpass Bargnani at some point.
Yeah, let's see. He's shooting. What is he shooting from 3 this year? 34. He's 35% for his career from 3.
Bargnani's got to be close to that, right?
Let's see.
I can't see Bargnani above 35%. I mean,
you said though, he was pretty good with the Raptors. Was he an All-Star?
I believe he did make the All-Star team. No, did he? No. Maybe he was one of those international rookie All-Star stats
type.
guy. Find everything Bargs right now.
35.6% from 3.
Okay.
Wow.
He was 41% from 3 in 08-09.
Yeah.
Olynyk?
No, Bargnani.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy writes, Jeff Teague or Mike Conley, if you had a choice on which point guard to have for the next 5 years, who would you all take and why? By the way, Mike Conley's 28 and won't be 29 until November. So whoever told you he's 30 going in 31 a couple episodes is lying. Teague is 27. I probably just made that up, to be honest.
I think Teague is more gettable.
I think Teague is more gettable, and I'd rather Teague.
Absolutely. I'm a big Teague.
I can't believe Atlanta's willing to give him up. I'm shocked. I know they have another guy, but I mean, come on.
Just like Charles Barkley said, if the Knicks get Jeff Teague, they're a, quote, lock for the playoffs. I don't know if I go that far, but he definitely would change the dynamic of the team dramatically.
I don't know if they have the stat, a war stat like they do at baseball, but he's got to be at least 3 more or 4 more wins over Calderon.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It wouldn't be close.
They do have something like that.
They must. Wins over replacement or whatever.
Yeah.
But, not to be a stat dork, but seriously, he would add more wins to that. That's the problem. For the triangle, you need a point guard that's competent. Listen, the Bulls didn't have the greatest point guard of all times, but Ron Harper was a pretty good player.
Well, he also played defense.
That too. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have Michael Jordan either, but I mean, and you also have Pippen who could play like a point forward. But I mean, come on. Did you see Rodman tweeted that he wants to be the coach? By the way,
Did he?
yep. Why not? That'd be fun.
Oh, come on. It would be fun. That is true.
Well, that's what I mean. It would be fun. If they're going to lose, let's have fun losing.
It says that Luke Walton's not going to leave the Warriors' job to take a coaching job mid-season.
No way. I agree with you. No way.
Yeah, why would he?
No,
He's
going to see that out.
Well, he's going to get he's not going to leave before he gets that second ring this year.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. There's no way. I don't want a mid-season replacement retread.
Which
Do our
is
due
why,
diligence and see what's best on the market.
That's why I think we're gonna have Rambis the rest of the season. I think he's gonna hold out.
I agree.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather have someone else?
Then Luke?
No, Rambis.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you mean in-house?
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be somebody else.
Well, let's see what. I'll look really quick to see what other assistants are on the team while you're still talking.
I mean, Kurt Rambis doesn't even wear those goofy glasses anymore. If he wore those, then I'd be at least somewhat interested.
Yeah.
Knicks fans says Mellow Road. How funny would Rodman be coaching while wearing a dress?
See?
Jimmy writes, I was reading...
Madonna would show up. We know that.
We might even get a Kim Jong-un sighting.
Hey, we could use the money. No, that's not true, actually.
Jimmy writes, I was reading on a website about the 10 players that the Knicks will look at this year in free agency, calling this summer's free agency the biggest in 20 years. Mike Conley, Bradley Beal, Jordan Clarkson, Batum, Paul Gasol, Noah, Evan Turner, Jamal Crawford.
Oh, Noah would be so good, man. I love this.
Noah's done. Noah's washed up.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's absolutely done.
You don't think it's just not getting along with the coach?
No, I think he keeps getting injured, and I think he's just done.
Jim Clemens, I think he's got coaching experience. He was a Bulls assistant too. He's on the bench.
Out of that list, I like Beal, Clarkson. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, not to interrupt one more time, but the assistant general manager, is Alan Houston. If you want to go with somebody, the rest of the guys on the staff don't jump out at you. James Clemens, Brian Keefe, Rasheed Hazard.
I would rather see Jim Clemens coach. He was like
that's the only other name on there that would be something.
I wouldn't want Brian Keefe. No. Or how about Mark Piazza, the senior vice president of sports team operations?
Wally Zerbiak, bring him in.
I like him on TV.
I love him.
I like those guys. They're entertaining, actually, after a game.
They're the best. I watch every single post-game show.
Yep.
All right, Twitter, NY Knicks Podcast on Twitter. Kayor writes, do you think this is a sign we found a trade for Melo?
Oh. Everyone's got these JFK-type theories.
Yeah. Saying we
No, I just think I think they weren't going to do any better under Fisher, and it's time to cut our losses. I think it's a sign that Luke Walton has a home if he wants it at the end of the season. I think that's really what it becomes. I really believe that. Which is kind of the consolation prize of Steve Kerr, right? Because he's Steve Kerr's assistant. That's the guy he always wanted.
Yeah.
No, you guys think Carmelo's going to get traded?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I'm not buying all these conspiracy theories about Melo's like the deal is imminent and somehow Fisher was the key to the whole thing. I'm not buying it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, we go through this almost every episode. He has a no trade clause, and who are we going to get that's an upgrade over Melo for, matching salaries? I just don't see it.
Yeah, like who has the cap room? Like, because honestly, I want picks back for him. I don't know if I want a guy back for him, to be honest. Because you're not going to get value back. You're not going to get that guy back.
Right. You're definitely going to have a downgrade in talent. If you're going to have a downgrade in talent, you might as well get draft picks for it.
Yep.
Okay. Facebook. Frank writes, do you think that if it were possible to sign J.R. Smith or maybe Mozgov to coach the Knicks, would it be better than having Fisher? I can't think of anything worse than having J.R. Smith around Porzingis. I mean, is there more of a doomsday scenario than that?
No, but Mozgov next to Porzingis would be fun.
That would be fun. J.R. next to Porzingis would be on World Star Hip Hop within like 3 weeks if he was with J.R. Smith.
Yeah, J.R. Smith. By the way, did you hear him whining about the 3-point contest and or something like how he should be an all-star and how he's going to win the 3-point contest? And stop it.
Did he say that?
Is he in the 3-point contest?
He is, but so is Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. He has no chance.
He's an idiot.
He's so annoying. I mean, I love when he grabbed the cotton candy. That was funny. Ha 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 ha.
In the
He probably
shoelaces.
thought it was cocaine. But, J.R. Smith, man. I mean, he had that one good year, and when they won the 50 games, and he was the 6th man of the year. But then he cracked in the playoffs.
Yep.
He cost them the playoffs that year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. That's funny. And by the way, I would totally make like an old like Super Nintendo Genesis team if it was like Porzingis, and I would get Mozgov. I would get all these big center, Euro white guys, and just see how good I could do.
Frederick Weiss.
Frederick Weiss. I am Frederick Weiss. The Knicks picked me with... Did you ever see the draft video of him? I think I might have talked about this once. It was like the grainiest footage ever filmed of a player, and they drafted him.
No, I didn't see that.
It was so bad. It looked like it was like filmed like...
It was like a snuff film?
Yeah. It was so bad.
Well, to Knicks fans, it pretty much was a snuff film.
Yeah, that's true.
Mike writes, what do you guys think of trying to get Ty Lawson on the cheap from Houston?
They don't have to give up anything. Why not?
I don't like that at all.
No? Well, you think he's a cancer?
I just don't like his attitude.
Let's see. He's an alcoholic cancer that's always injured and doesn't play defense.
Oh, J.R. Smith?
Other than that, I love everything else about him.
Well, like I said, if they had to give up nothing for him for 1 year, how many years does he have left on his deal? That's the thing. Like, you don't want to be stuck with him.
Well, is it Denver picking up the tab anyway?
Are they? They picked up the tab in that trade?
Well, didn't they buy him out, which means they pay, like, you pay whatever you want and they pay the rest?
That may be true.
I think he's making like $13 million, but if he got bought out, Denver's, paying whatever you don't pay.
He's also 28.
Yeah, no, I'm all set with Lawson.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just tired of Calderon.
Frank writes, why didn't Fisher call a timeout before Aflalo missed the potential tying shot with 7 seconds left against the Grizz? Was it because Melo wasn't playing and he couldn't call for his patented ISO Melo play? Is it because he's totally incompetent?
The second one.
The second one. How many good out-of-bounds plays did he draw up in his tenure?
He only drew up pretty much ISO Melo.
Yep.
Although Aflalo thinks he's way better than he is.
Oh, he thinks he's Kobe at the end of the game. I'm always going to take that game-winning shot.
He had a wide-open Porzingis and instead just tried to take a contested three.
It's like the only person that's made an expiring shot this year was Porzingis on the game in Charlotte. Yet they had and it didn't count. But now they don't want to ever go to him when it's time for a shot like that. I don't get it.
Because that's just what everyone else will be thinking.
Oh yeah,
I agree. Why not let him be the guy at the end? Seriously, he's probably the best option.
Him or Galloway. Galloway is always good in the clutch, it seems like.
That's true. And he had some game-winning shots when it didn't matter last year. But I agree with you. Like that. Why not those two guys? Enough with Aflalo's shot is so inconsistent. Like, I think he just chucks it up there in the hopes it goes in. Like, I never have confidence when he shoots.
That's pretty much every shooting guard we've had since I can remember. Since my first basketball memories.
Well, yeah. It started with, I guess... We started following around a little before John Starks, but John Starks, right? The epitome of the chucking shooting guard that would hit sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Allen Houston wasn't a chucker. I feel like when he shot, he had a clue.
That's true.
Allen Houston was a pretty damn good shooting guard in the league.
Yeah.
He was.
I still stand by it, man. If Patrick Ewing was healthy that year, they might have had a chance against that Spurs team. They might have.
Yeah, no, I agree. Even if he could just play like 15 minutes, that would have made a huge difference.
I mean, Camby was good that year, but it wasn't enough.
Frank writes, just saw the play the Celtics ran to beat the Cavs on the final possession of the game. Why can't Fisher draw up plays like that? What would our record be with Brad Stevens as our coach?
Probably the inverse of what it is. We're close to it. I think Brad Stevens is, I mean, what he did at Butler.
Stats guy, what would our record be?
So can you? I got distracted again with the Allen Houston thing. I'm looking at his per game. Read the question for me.
Brad Stevens, if he was our coach, what would our record be?
It would probably still be around the same thing, sadly, but I think probably a few more games just because Fisher is an idiot.
I would say 4 more wins.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 4 or 5.
So that put us at 500.
Yeah, exactly. 500 and battling for the 8th spot.
Yep.
So
Who's in the 8th
sadly,
spot right now? Indiana?
I think Detroit's in 8th spot right now.
Detroit's in the 8th spot now?
Yeah. That's like a rotating spot right now, though.
Yeah, Detroit's up by a game on the Hornets.
Frank,
The Hornets team should be better. I really believe that, by the way.
This game is so intense. Sorry, keep going.
Which is the best coach, Fisher, Woodson, or D'Antoni?
Woodson.
How does it feel knowing that whoever you pick at best is still garbage? What does this say about our organization?
Woodson gets a bad rap. I don't think he was garbage. I just think he was mediocre. You guys think he was garbage?
He was pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't know. They got 50 wins twice out of him, right? I don't know. I didn't like him, but I think they peaked at whatever they were going to do with him is what they were going to like. They weren't going to get any better. So I wasn't upset that they got rid of him, but
I would say I don't know. Maybe D'Antoni.
That's a really tough question.
It is. I'm
really
leaning toward D'Antoni, but
as the best coach.
Well, out of those 3 jokers,
are you counting Phoenix in that equation, or just as a Knicks coach?
Just as a Knicks coach. I mean, I didn't like any of them.
No.
I feel like I was madder at Woodson and Fisher recently than I was at D'Antoni.
I don't know. The whole Jeremy Lin thing was such a joke at the time. It really was. I know he was awesome and all for like those 10 games or whatever, but it was like a sideshow.
Yeah.
And it masked all the problems that they had.
Knicks fan since Melo writes, will the Knicks retire Stark's number?
No. Nope. And not for nothing, Charles Oakley should get his number retired before that. Just saying.
Yeah, I think so too.
But Charles Oakley and the Knicks do not get along very well. So that'll never happen. I don't think John. I think he is like one of their ambassadors and everything. But
how come the Knicks have bad blood with like half the people that go through them?
I'm not going to say it, but you know who it is.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Can't have this guy around. Is bad blood.
You know what happens with stuff like that, though? They end up reconciling down the line. Like, look at like Yogi Berra for all those years, never would talk to the Yankees, and then suddenly he's fine with the Yankees. And that's Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner was probably more ruthless than Dolan was. That's at his worst. So eventually, I'm sure that'll work its way out. I mean, Ewing is kind of not friendly with the team either. And you look back at those teams, like I guess Charles Smith still hangs around, and John Stark still hangs around. And Allen Houston's part of the...
And Larry Johnson never leaves.
Yeah, Larry Johnson, like, shows up randomly. He's always on those, like, four courses with JB Smoove and all that, but...
Yeah.
How many times are they going to show that 4-point play, by the way? They did another special on that thing.
I know. It's... I don't know.
I mean...
It's like the greatest moment in the history of the Knicks or something.
Do we agree that wasn't a foul?
That was... It was a very questionable call.
Which call was worse, the Hubert Davis call or that one?
Which one was the Davis one?
Against the Bulls, he got fouled. They called the foul. It was Hugh Hollins called the foul, I think, and it wasn't even close. was like, was it 94? I don't remember. If you Google it, you'll see it.
Yeah, I'm not remembering that one.
Yeah, they were both really bad. But
Okay.
hey, I do remember where I was when that 4-point play did happen, though. So,
All right, almost done with the questions. Morgan writes, should I continue watching the season or just wait until next year? Do you see the team improving or getting worse after the break?
I think you should still watch. I think Porzingis is worth watching.
Yeah. Watch Porzingis grow. Maybe with the new coach, Grant gets some more run.
Yep.
Nathan writes,
You think they play at Antetokounmpo at all, or no?
his contracts ended yesterday.
It was 10-day contract?
Yeah, I mean, they could re-sign him, but
Yeah.
they
He
haven't
scored
yet.
6 points.
He did score 6 points over the course of 4 games.
I'm surprised he came back because, like, I thought he left on bad terms, kind of. Like, I thought he was pissed off.
He almost did.
Yeah.
And then they struck a deal.
But
Yeah.
It kind of implied he would be getting a roster spot and then didn't give him one.
Then they didn't give him one, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Nathan writes, I'd like for you guys to talk trade opportunities based on who we know is being discussed as possible trade bait, Teague, Conley, etc.
I think if Teague is truly as available as he is, you got to go after him. But what does Atlanta want? I mean, Atlanta right now, what are they? 30-23. They're 8 games out of the first spot, but they're half game up in the 4th spot, so they have home court.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Teague is more gettable than Conley.
Well, isn't his contract up? You would think that they would want to get something for him.
Right.
Yep.
Are you talking about
I don't
Teague or
know.
Conley?
You said that I thought that maybe that Memphis would want to trade Conley and get something for him if his contract is expiring at the end of the season.
Mhm.
But I mean, I guess if they're trying to compete, that wouldn't make sense at all.
Well, whereas Memphis is kind of like at the 4th spot too in their conference, right? They've got to be somewhere around.
Yeah, no, they're up there. I'm not exactly sure where. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it's Golden State, San Antonio,
Well, the thing
Oklahoma
is,
City.
without Conley, like, they don't have a backup point guard. Like, Atlanta could put in Schroeder.
Yeah,
Right.
they're in the 5th spot, 30-21,
Yeah, they're
And
3.5 behind the Clippers. Yeah,
and the Mavericks are right behind them,
Yeah.
29-25. Little bit of a difference, but
I think Jay, you're right. I think Schroeder is the guy that they want to be their man. That's why Teague's on the market.
Right. Because they don't want to pay 2 point guards $15 million each.
Right. But what does Atlanta need? Like, that's the question. Like, we're going to talk trade possibilities. Like, what are they looking? Like, what puts them in a possible place to compete against Cleveland? That's really what they have to think about.
Yeah. I mean,
So let's look. They've got Millsap, Horford, and Bazemore up front, right? That's their starting 3.
yeah, their 4 and 5 is all set. They could upgrade it to 2 and 3, I guess.
Well, Korver,
Korver's. That's the
Don't
thing. If
trick
Korver
pony.
gets out of his slump, which it looks like he's starting to get out of, like, they don't really need to upgrade anywhere except,
the bench.
the bench or maybe upgrade Bazemore.
I mean, Hardaway Jr. is their backup shooting guard, right?
They could probably do an upgrade there.
Yeah. Suffolosha is their backup small forward. Splitter's their backup center. He's good. Mike Scott's actually had a good year as the backup power forward. I don't know, like, what could we give them? Like, that's the question. Maybe, I don't want to get rid of Lance Thomas, but
I don't even know if that would do it.
I don't know either.
A Flalo and I really don't know.
Like, why would they want to follow, though? Like,
I don't know.
that's the hard, like, you have to give up something to get something, and what are they giving up to get?
I mean,
wow, Joe Johnson they had 0.9 seconds left, and Joe Johnson just hit a 3-pointer down by 2 to win the game for the Nets against the Nuggets.
Against the Nuggets? Wow.
good.
And Fareed had hit a shot to go ahead with 1 second left. Crazy. Okay.
Every Nets win is a worse draft pick for the Celtics. So good.
Yes.
There you go. Relevant.
Yes.
Good point. That is a good point. That was very well thought.
See, I would say for Teague, you could maybe they'd want Grant because
like a young.
they'd be short on the point guard position.
Yeah.
So, maybe they want Grant Flalo and like a second rounder. I mean, how much are you going to give up for a guy who's expiring?
Right, and there's no guarantee in signing him.
I mean, I would do a Flalo Grant and a second rounder, but I wouldn't do much else because the guy could leave.
So what's Teague doing this year? He's averaging 29 minutes, 15 points a game, 5 assists, 3 turnovers. Yeah.
I mean, but he plays defense.
Yes. How is he in the locker room? Do we know? Is he a good guy, a bad guy, mediocre guy?
I haven't heard anything bad.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
No bad is good, in my opinion. He averages a steal, 1.3 steals a game too. He's definitely an upgrade. I think that's the guy. I like Conley, but I can't see. I mean, is Memphis not going to re-sign him? Is that the concern? Because I don't think do they have cap problems? I don't think they do. They are getting older.
Well, like I said, they don't want $30 million going to the point guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew writes, if you were in Phil Jackson's shoes, what moves would both of you do to improve the team between now and the start of next season?
Gotta get a point guard. We keep saying it.
Yeah.
You need a point guard and a third option scorer.
And the point guard has got to be a point guard that can play defense and distribute the ball.
Yep, can run that offense.
Preferably shoot as well.
Because you don't have to guard the point guard right now. You don't have to honor a shot. You don't have to honor the drive.
Well, you have to honor Calderon's shot, but he has such a slow release. You can play off of him a little bit.
Right.
You don't have to honor Sasha's or Grant's.
Right.
And none of them really penetrate.
Nope.
And they all suck on defense. So.
The thing is, when Calderon penetrates, he doesn't he goes in and then comes back out. Like I feel like he doesn't he has to get angry to drive. He doesn't get angry enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Steven writes, the Knicks are overachieving, right?
When was that sent, though?
That was sent 3 days ago, so it's only like 1 or 2 losses ago.
No, I think they're right where I expected them to be record-wise. It's not maybe the way that the path that they got there is different. Like you said it earlier, Jay, I didn't expect them to slump now and get down to where they are, but we forget. This was a 10-win team last year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're overachieving. I think they're right about where we thought.
Yep.
Okay. Greg writes, last episode was fun. Can you guys get Woody back? Sure. We like Woody too. John writes, this disastrous skid we're on, didn't it start when Sasha broke the rotation? I think you might be onto something.
You might be right.
Greg writes, still positive we'll make the playoffs this year?
Nope.
I actually, at the beginning of the season, said they'd finish in 9th. So,
and you were sticking to it the whole time.
I'm still sticking to it.
I know you are.
I think 9th is feasible.
It would be just like the Knicks to finish one game out of the 8th spot,
they'll do a season long Knicks comeback.
The thing is,
I was just going to say that.
You look at the 3 teams ahead of them and the 1 team behind them, and they're better teams. Charlotte's better. Washington's underachieved. Orlando, I think, is slightly better, and Milwaukee's been awful, and it's kind of surprising how bad they've been.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough to jump those teams.
Greg writes, did you guys win the lottery yet? I'll be anticipating your commercial in this year's Super Bowl. We did not, so maybe next year. Predictions for the next 6 games. Washington.
What are the next 6 games?
Washington.
Let's see.
You guys tell me what you think. Washington, win or loss?
Where is it?
At Washington.
At
home.
At home.
At home.
I'll say they will win that.
Stats guy?
They're going to win their first game with Rambis.
Yep.
Okay, so we're all saying win for that one. At Brooklyn.
I think that's another win.
Stats guy?
I'm gonna go with a loss.
I'm gonna go with a win. revenge game for the last one.
Yes.
Well, when you see this Joe Johnson bank off the backboard 3-pointer in Gallinari's face, you're gonna say, "Wow, they're gonna go on a streak here." Not, but
At Minnesota.
That will be a loss. Their point guard plays too much better. Who's good? That's not a bad team. Like, who stops Karl Anthony Towns, right?
Porzingis. Robin Lopez.
but what about Wiggins?
I like Minnesota. I don't know why they're as bad as they are.
Lance Thomas, the Wiggins stopper.
Is he gonna play? He's got a concussion.
I'm going with a win on that one.
Wow,
I'm gonna go.
so you-
I think we'll win it too. We're not gonna lose.
So you've got 3 in a row, Jay?
3 in a row because the Knicks are streaky like that.
Okay.
That'll just be enough to get our hopes up right before home
Great.
against Toronto.
That's a loss.
It's in Toronto, right?
No, it's home.
Okay, yeah. So they're gonna lose that game anyway.
Yeah, they'll lose. At Indiana?
That's way after the All-Star break, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, they're all after the All-Star break except for Washington.
Except for the Washington game. I think that's a loss, too.
Yeah, they can beat the Pacers.
It'll be
but-
close. I agree.
Yeah, they always seem to make it close. I think they're gonna win that game.
I feel like that's a game that we should win and we won't. So I'm going to go with a loss. And then the 6th game is home against Orlando.
I think they can win that.
Yeah, that should be a win.
Gosh, I guess I'll say win.
It's
All
a relatively big game in the standings when you think about it because they're close.
So 4-2.
I'd take 4-2.
You heard it here.
So we
first.
think they're going to go 4-2 in Kurt Rambis' first 6 games.
Yeah, and then it'll go downhill the rest of the season, but it'll be off a good start.
Interesting.
Andrew writes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you that Fisher is now gone?
11.
I'm only a 6 because now we have Rambis.
No, I wanted. This is. I was actually surprised. I don't know about you guys, but I was shocked that this came down today.
I was too. I was very surprised.
I'm very happy. Bye.
What other moves does Phil have up his
Yeah.
sleeves?
Neither you or Mark were believing me when I was talking to you this morning.
Yeah, I thought you were messing with me. I'm like, it's Monday morning. I'm all grumpy, and you send me a message saying Fisher's gone, and I'm like, don't you fuck with me.
Yeah, Mark did the same thing. He's like, "Don't joke." He's like, "This would not be a funny joke."
What other moves do you think Phil has up his sleeves?
Go after Blake Griffin and the trainer and the Clippers. No? I think we talked about that. I don't know if there's anything else.
Phil
He'll make a small move. That's about it. Don't look for anything else.
He'll make a move that'll surprise us, maybe get us another second rounder. I don't know how, but he seems good at getting us second rounders. What coaches realistically could we get?
Luke Walton. I really do. They'd have to pay a lot for him, but
you're right. With his connection with Phil, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the number one target.
I hope it's not Brian Shaw. That's just Derek Fisher Part 2.
Oh, it better not be.
No,
Brian
Wouldn't
Shaw.
it be? It would be the same thing.
That would be a 10 on a scale of disappointment.
Yes.
What about Mark Jackson?
No.
No,
Terrible,
Nope.
no.
not in New York.
Nope. And last question. I can understand if we lose to Golden State or San Antonio, but Denver, why?
Danilo Gallinari. They didn't even pronounce his name with the Italian accent like they used to. I was so disappointed.
Unbelievable. All right, so that's our questions. Thank you, everyone who sent in questions.
They were good.
Yes, good stuff.
They were okay. No, I'm just kidding.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how are the questions this week?
Derek Fisher.
Wow, that's mean.
Sorry.
Do you guys?
It's an easy joke to make.
Do you guys have anything else you want to cover before we go?
No, I think we talked about it all. I think it'll be interesting. When's the deadline? That's the question, right? When's the trade deadline?
It's right after the All-Star break, right, Stats Guy?
Yeah, the exact date of it, though, is...
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Just start answering
I
really
don't know.
slowly.
Right here, I see an article that was posted 3 days ago, and it says the NBA trade line is 2 weeks away.
Okay.
So 11
about a
more
week
days.
and a half.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. It's usually right after the All-Star break.
So the All-Star, the All-Star break's coming up, right?
This weekend, yeah.
It's not a rookies and sophomores, right? It's like, what is it now? It's World versus US?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
I don't either. Rookie sophomores was pretty cool.
I thought it was good. I don't think there was a problem with it. Did you see some of the proposals that people had for spicing up the game?
No.
Doing it outdoors?
Outdoors is such a bad idea.
Hey, the
They should
Liberty.
play it in outer space or something.
Wait, that's a sequel to a movie, I think. They said like one-on-one. I don't know if would one-on-one be good?
No.
I don't think so, right?
No.
Why don't we just watch them play horse or knockout?
Yeah, they tried that. That didn't work
They
either.
did try that, right? Yeah.
I missed that one, but yeah, I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, they did. It wasn't even part of like the main thing. It was like before the main thing. It was like it was before like the 3-point contest, the slam dunk, and the skills I like the skills that's very underrated. I actually like that part of it.
February 18th, by the way.
So 10 days away.
Are you suggesting we have somebody in the chat room? Are you suggesting we have a meetup at the club that Clay Anthony Early got shot in?
That's funny.
It's funny. I think I'll get a pass on that club though.
Well, or how about there's plenty that J.R. Smith was frequented too. We can go to any of those.
Yeah. All right. So
you ever thought about going to Clyde's?
Yeah, I kind of want to go there.
We should. That could be fun.
They should let him be the coach. He's the coolest guy in the world.
That's true.
Maybe we should do the next meetup at Clyde's.
Yes, but you got to do it on any other day but Friday this time. For me.
Well, I go to school Monday through Thursday, so.
Well, that's unacceptable.
What's your major malfunction with Fridays?
Well, I work Friday night. But you know what? I'll take off next time.
There you go. All right. So, thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone in the chat room. This was a good turnout today. And we will be back next Monday.
Yeah, sorry Mark wasn't here. You got the replacement player.
That's fine. But I think the show went very. Once we all figured out our technical difficulties, I think it went fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you were awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, we'll be back next Monday. The next 2 episodes are both going to be on Mondays, same time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out. There's links all over the place. Twitter, NY Knicks Podcast, in the Facebook group. We do the show through Ustream. So you can go to Ustream/channel/Knicks-podcast. And that's where you could join in on the chat. And if you hit that follow button, then you'll get an email every time we go live. So you'll never miss an episode.
And buy a Knicks shirt. They're awesome.
Buy a Knicks shirt. TheNewYorkKnicksPodcast.com. We have shirts left. They're on the website. And they're only $18, including shipping. And if you throw in an extra $5, you can get a Brink of Sanity shirt. There's only like 3 of those left. So get them while they're still here. All right. This is somebody in the chat wrote, 3 people made up for what Mark would have said. Mark does talk.
Is that an insult to us or a compliment to Mark?
It's an insult to Mark. Mark's a little chatty.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back soon.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time.
the end.
Say goodbye. You better go away.
I'm gonna leave you.
It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone.
Feels so good to say goodbye.
I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, 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 everybody.
Everybody.
Hi, this is moreLearn Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.